Man, is it a never-ending battle around here with the squirrels. I planted this garden, and I don't know if you remember, but I planted my squashes in here, and they are just devouring them. Let me give you a little look around so that you can see what I am dealing with. And then after that, I am going to come in and start tying up some of these squash plants up on the poles or T-posts that I have here, and get going on that. And I actually have squashes growing on here, but yes, let me show you. So everything in here was doing pretty darn good until I started noticing that the leaves were getting eaten, and that's just not cool. I have a squash here that I don't know how has not been touched by a squirrel, but now that I say that, it'll probably go away, disappear. So yeah, I have these pumpkins, and then you can see this one here. It's just, they come in and just bite the leaves off, which I'm surprised because these things are pretty spiky. So I thought after a while that they would stop doing that. But if you look right here, this is a prime example of a zucchini that's been eaten. And this one over here has sort of been devoured. It is growing new leaves, which is nice, but still, this is just really annoying overall. So, and then my pumpkins here and here, and I guess I only did 2 in here. And then over here, this is where the devastatingness happened the most. So these are potatoes here, and these all used to be really good. Like, nothing was bothering these until I planted the squash and the pumpkins in these boxes. And then once I did that, the potatoes started getting eaten as well. So I'm not sure what the deal is there, but this is what my pumpkins are looking like. I don't know if this one is going to be able to recover, but I am going to leave it. Same with this one. Look at all these little nasturtiums growing. But same with this one and this one. I mean, it's okay so far right now, but I need to do something about the problem in here. So I don't know, I do have traps set up. It looks like something came in here and ate the food in the trap, but then found its way either out of the trap, or I don't know what came in here and ate the food and then bounced. So anyways, I am going to go ahead and tie up some of these ones. This one right here is going to be a lot easier, I think, than this one, but I'm going to go ahead and tie both of them up using just this wire. You could use probably zip ties, you could use baling twine, but I have this wire and I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to do it very loosely just to hold it up. And again, the idea here is to get these to grow vertically and off the ground. So I am just going to start with just sort of taking the main stem or stalk here. There's another one that got eaten of this plant, and just kind of bracing it up against the pole and taking my wire gently and just sort of coming in and twisting, leaving it loose, but twisting the wire so that it's holding the plant up. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut any excess off, just so that, I don't know, because I am, like that. And then maybe I'm just going to fold the ends over so I don't scratch myself. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to start at the bottom and just cut some of these leaves off, because essentially over time the leaves are going to be up at the top and the bottom is just going to be all stem. So, but I don't want to take too much off, and I definitely don't want to take off any flowers. So, and I can just go ahead, I don't know if I should leave the zucchini that's been eaten on here so that it can eat, whatever's in here can eat that, or if I should just take it off and hope that it doesn't come back to eat that stuff. But I am gonna also just come in and cut anything that's been eaten because they're no good anymore anyways. Okay, and this is the idea. So this is the main stem right here. And over time, I'm just gonna come in. I could actually probably get rid of this one as well. Like that. And then, you know, every so often I will come and just brace it up even more. So I'm gonna see if I can get these other ones sort of braced up. And then I've got another project that I'm gonna do in the other garden, and I will get to that. Now I'm not naming names or pointing fingers, but I don't know if you can see that little open space right there in between that fence board. And I don't know if you can see that cute little face right there. Yeah, you. But I think it's probably safe to say he's the culprit as to why there's no dog food in the trap. The little stinker. He's gotten so big though. Sure is handsome. But he's a stinker. He's a handsome stinker. You're handsome too, Oz. You're handsome too. But you're a stinker. So I don't have so much as a project as I do a chore that needs to just be handled like yesterday. And that is planting back out my peppers that I overwintered from last year. If you have been around for any length of time, you may have seen where I dug out my peppers out of the ground and overwintered them. I think I may have attempted to do 6, and well, 2 of them have serious signs of life. One of them has, there's a chance, but I doubt it. And then all the other ones, not even. So I am going to go ahead and get these into the ground because they are fruiting already. I'm not 100% sure what this one right here is, but based on what the fruit looks like, I'm gonna have to say it's just a regular jalapeno, which is fine by me. And then this one here, I may have to end up cutting these ones off and just letting the stalk grow, but this one is a Carolina Reaper. So I'm gonna get this, or these, into the ground and see how they do. Now that that's done, I do need to get a water source over there, but I am just going to throw in a couple more smaller pepper plants in here, and then I think it's probably a good time for me to not only fertilize again, but to check out all my tomato plants and see if there's anything touching the ground. So I got some much needed chores done in the garden, and I showed you guys a little bit of the issue that I am dealing with currently. Hopefully I can get it under control, but yeah, the last thing that I did here was I added the drip system that needed to be added, and then I fertilized everything by hand. I cut off all of the bottom leaves. I just used my finger and my thumbnail and just sort of pinched them off to all of my tomatoes. And now I am just going to turn on the sprinkler heads so that I can give them a good watering and kind of flush that fertilizer down into the soil. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that your garden is growing awesome, and I will see you next time. Bye.